How did Batman become such a dark and brooding character? The story starts with a little boy who takes a shortcut through an alley after a fun night with his parents. Sadly, this tiny decision would shatter any thought of a normal childhood. A petty criminal took it upon himself to play God and cause everlasting trauma over materialistic items. Bruce died in the darkness that night as the rain began to wash away the bloodstains. A family photo that Satan himself could only craft. No one could relate to his suffering, with his family ripped to shreds. The child was no longer present, innocence stolen with a flash of gunpowder. The boy will forever remember this pain as he is a boy no longer. Life would never be the same for the sole heir of the Wayne family. It didn't matter how big the inheritance was. Nothing could bring back what was lost. However, a glimpse of light still shines even in the darkest abyss. The senseless violence committed on that fateful day birthed something the world needed most. A future protector of Gotham who understood that no one should ever feel this pain he felt in that alley. Through the shadows of the night, Batman finds a home. He bathes in the crimes of Gotham's worst on a nightly basis. So many trials he has faced that one has to ponder why he hasn't gone mad. The type of dedication it takes to wear the cape is practically unheard of. It required the sacrifice of everything ordinary people and superheroes alike hold dear. Throughout the years, billionaire Bruce Wayne became the mask, while Batman became the man. Over the years, he has sacrificed so much more than his body and mind. He is one of the best fighters in the world and simultaneously one, if not the best, detective you could find. He is blessed with an absurd amount of money while being gifted with the genetics and talent to be one of the most remarkable physical specimens of all time. However, these gifts do not stop the constant agony. Your body has to be accustomed to the highest levels of stress imaginable. Sleepless nights and persistent aches and pains are routine. You are training not only your body but the mind as well, as countless hours of reading are required. The necessary knowledge is never ending when looking at comics, especially the DC universe. Even to the point where Bruce learns Kryptonian, a dialect belonging to an alien species outside of the solar system. When humans barely know what's happening in the oceans, Batman is swimming with the citizens of Atlantis. Seeing the pit of Gotham's finest constantly could tear at the soul. Resting is never a priority, as the streets are always calling. His rogues gallery continually pushes him to his breaking point. The city clouded with pains created the most clever demons, professionals at manipulation. His opposition has no qualms about soaking their hands in blood. Whether it be for greed, hatred of humanity, emotional distress, or just for laughs, this lifestyle means you have few people you can trust. But even if this is the case, this doesn't stop the Bat from building solid bonds with specific individuals. The best blessing Bruce could have received was the guidance and care that his butler provided. Alfred never cared about Bruce's billions. He managed not only to love his parents, but treasured their son. Bruce needed someone he could turn to, and even in his most depressing moments, Alfred was always there. But the opposite holds for the love of his life. A loner posing as a billionaire playboy can be seen as a miserable existence or a dream come true. He is constantly putting on a facade that can put a real damper on life. Significant events become trivial, such as monumental business meetings or yacht parties with every girl you could dream of. All the private jets, parties, and endless luxuries don't compare to actual connections. And sadly, this includes some of the positive influences in his life, such as Selina Kyle. Ms. Catwoman thought she could handle the pressure. However, Bruce lets it be known clearly that the mission comes first. He will not bend his moral code for anyone. Even though she connected with the man under the cowl, she will never be his priority. There will never be a day when Bruce will be more important than the Bat. Neither his health nor sanity matters when it comes to protecting Gotham. His sleep is for the weak, as Alfred is borderline forced to tie him down to take a nap. The standards he sets for himself as Batman can be seen as lunacy. And this sacrifice of sanity is also a fact the Robins must face. He refuses to shift his moral compass regardless of the event. Every life counts, and as long as Bruce is breathing, he will save anyone, no matter how evil. And this code was put to the test when Jason Todd entered the picture. Batman didn't see a thief when he met his future sidekick. What he saw was a boy who needed to see the light, a way that prevents him from ending up on the street or being filled with hatred. But even with these good intentions, the outcome is never guaranteed. Batman was beyond devastated when he lost Jason. The extent the Joker is willing to take doesn't have any limits. The clown not only took his Robin, but tortured the teen. He insulted the boy Wonder and drove the lesson home with a crowbar. The cherry on top was Batman witnessing his surrogate son engulfed in fire, with his flesh searing off his bone. The only thing more heated was the feud that sparked between the two. Jason gained a new outlook on life after a quick dip in the Lazarus pit. With a white-hot rage still burning, the target of the fallen boy Wonder wasn't necessarily straightforward. One would assume it would be at the Joker, but you would be mistaken. All of his actions stem from the sheer fact that the clown prince of crime was still walking around in the world of the living. He had to come to grips with a man he admired like a father who wouldn't break the rules even once. He was scarred not only by the clown prince, but by his idol as well. During their confrontation, Bruce couldn't bring himself to cross that line. To end someone's existence is too much for his mind to handle. For if he does, no one knows how far he will go. His psychology can't bear the responsibility of the judge, jury, and executor. The mental weight of deciding between life and death would bring about eventual psychosis, and other iterations of Batman prove this. Whether it be from other means of the act itself, Batman must stick to his principles. He is walking a fine line between stability and absolute insanity. It's a modern-day miracle that he hasn't descended into madness. Batman is the definition of a polarizing figure. One whose morals shine a light on what can be achieved mentally and physically but highlight the consequences of said actions. The Justice League has been split down the middle plenty of times of Batman's ethics, but at the end of the day, the Caped Crusader could care less how his peers feel about him. His sense of justice will never be wavered by personal opinion. He was born by the shadows, raised in conflict, and will perish by the rules he set. He is the darkness. Thank you so much for watching.